Joining us now, Andrew Stoltmann, trial attorney and Northwestern law professor. Thanks for being here. So what happens at a status hearing in a mistrial case? What are the options?
Well, the options are the prosecutors have to decide whether they are going to retry the case. Usually I get a pretty good opinion and feel for what prosecutors are going to do, but this one is hard. It's such a hot button issue there in Arizona. Obviously, they did not prevail in this case, so we'll have to see what the prosecutors decide.
So based on the arguments that you heard in court, the evidence that was presented, why do you think the jurors could not agree? What do you think was the sticking point?
I think there were a couple things. I think maybe the biggest thing was George Allen Kelly's wife. They've been married for 54 years. She was an extraordinarily charming woman. She was there. And there was a real question as to what happened. And I think her key was that she talked about the state of mind of her husband. Supposedly, there were drug dealers, migrants crossing the property earlier in the day. They called the local authorities. They came out, they didn't see anything. So she was really able to take the jury and kind of establish what her mindset was and the mindset of her husband, although I'm so somewhat surprised that he wasn't convicted.
You know, the other thing is he said he shot 100 yards over their heads, but he never told law enforcement that he was in fear for his life. Had he said that on the stand or in interviews with police, I was afraid for my life, would the outcome here have been different?
I think it's possible. He was a somewhat flawed character. I mean, his story changed multiple times. At one point, he had said he was in a tussle with these migrants. So he was not a particularly sympathetic witness, defendant in this case. But remember, he was judged by a jury of his peers, and there's very little sympathy for migrants in Arizona and in many of these border states, including now in some of these non-border states as well. So the whole case is tragic. But we'll see if prosecutors decide to try to push this case again.
And if they do you expect a different outcome? How would that next case look if presented?
I think we would see a very similar case being tried. And it's so hard in Arizona to get a jury of your peers to convict on a case like this, where there really weren't many eyewitnesses. And the one eyewitness who there was, it was the individual who was with the deceased. He was a drug dealer. He was a migrant. He was an all-around bad dude whose story changed as well. So this is a tough case for prosecutors. I still think there was enough for them to have won the case.
Early in the proceedings, Kelly rejected an agreement with prosecutors that would have reduced the charge to one count of negligent homicide if he pleaded guilty. Do you think something like that may still be on the table?
Such high stakes in this case. You're right. He did turn down the plea deal. He would have been sentenced to about 8 years in prison, probably would have served about half of that. Sometimes defendants in a mistrial get emboldened and they think we can win this case next time. So I would be surprised if George Allen Kelly ended up agreeing to a plea deal. He may just make prosecutors do the whole thing all over again.
Deadlock jury, April 29th is when that status hearing will happen. We'll see what happens at that point. Andrew Stoltmann, thanks for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.